Name.
Nicola.
University.
Technical University of Eindhoven.
Year.
Second.
Course.
Computer Science and Engineering.
So for my first question, can you tell me what sort of mandatory prices you need to pay at the university as far as like tuition and stuff like that?
In every university in the Netherlands, I think it's halved for first year students. And it was halved again, so I paid 1/4 of the original fee because of Corona. So it was 500 euros, but for this year it was 2,000.
And as far as like location within the city, how many campuses are there and whereabouts are they?
There's only one. Every building is there. That's it.
Where is it sort of within the city?
The city is made in like two circles, kind of. Like there is an outer and an inner circle, with the inner circle being more of like the center of the city, I guess, and it's on the inside of the east side of the circle, of the northeast side.
Okay. And then I want to ask you about the accommodation options. Like, how hard is it to get accommodation? How would you go about looking for said accommodation? And what sort of prices are people to expect?
Starting off with the level of difficulty. So basically, you have to be a very religious man and pray to God every day. But I think this is the worst country for in terms of accommodations. There are just too many people for this amount of space. So for looking for one, you can first ask the university if they somehow have a free room in one of the two buildings that they don't directly own but have a contract with. But probably the answer will be no, and they'll be like, if you want, we can delay your acceptance to our university with 1 year so that you can find an accommodation. But I find that as a scam. So you can just try not to get scammed on Facebook Marketplace. And there are different websites and different real estate agencies here that are specifically for students, I guess. And price range, honestly, depends on how good you are at looking at these sort of things, because it can be anything from 300 very, very optimistically up until the most expensive that I have heard, I think, is 1,100 for one person.
Okay. And as far as like extracurricular options and stuff that the uni would provide for you guys, is that well developed? How, like, what kind of stuff do you have available?
And yes, you can do basically whatever you want, like, I'm not gonna lie. There are study associations depending on your studies so that you can join them, do different things. With them, there are like fraternities where you can just do things with them as well. There are more specific clubs like photography, board games, computer games. You can be part of a team in whatever sport you like. We have a sports center with, I think, 90 sports in it.
As far as like the actual city is concerned, like, is there like stuff to do within the city, stuff to see, like how's the nightlife, anything like that?
Depends on the sort of activities that you like to do. For example, if you like paintball, rock climbing, going on a hot air balloon, you can do those things. As in the nightlife, there is literally one street with all of the clubs in it, so you just go there. Things to see, there is the PSV Stadium if you're a football fan. There are 2 or 3 types of museums, I think. One of them is about the DAF museums if you're interested in cars. And
As we mentioned, the nightlife. What can you say about, let's say, the prices around the city in general? And more specifically, what I'm asking you about is food and everyday amenities, as well as like the drinks, if we're talking about bars and clubs.
the thing is that these prices are going to continue to inflate. So today at the pub, the prices were like €6 for one beer. For groceries, it depends on the stuff that you eat in general, honestly. Meat is expensive, but I think that's common. Outside of that, the rest of the things are kind of affordable.
And the last sort of thing that I want to ask you is, as far as like transportation around the city goes, what sort of options do you have available? And um, if it's like public transport and stuff, is that also affordable and accessible or not so much?
The city is small enough so that you can ride bike pretty much anywhere. If you don't like riding bikes, there are buses as well, which depending on if you have like public transport card, prices vary from I don't know 15 cents to €5 depending on the length of your journey and the amount of stations that and the amount of stops that you go to.
And just again on transport, if you're then talking about transport to come in into the city, let's say from another country, what are your options for doing that? So is it like only via plane? Is there any other options? And let's say if it's like via plane, how long would it take you to get from the airport to the actual city, and like how you would do that?
Okay, so you can go to Eindhoven depending on where you're coming from, either via train, which are a bit expensive but still okay and quite fast, or via the airport, which is, I think, like there are three airports in the Netherlands, and this is the one for the cheap companies like Ryanair, Wizz Air. There is a bus station, and every maybe 5 or 6 minutes there is going to be a bus taking you from the airport to the center of the city in, I think, 20-25 minutes, something like that, depending on if you get the bus that just goes straight to the center or the bus that goes via everything.
Okay, thank you very much. That was Nicola from the Technical University of Eindhoven.